scary and terrifying.
No parent, wants to hear about their child being almost abducted, especially by a school.
A 10-year-old able to escape, and police saying the attempted kidnapper still on the loose.
It's never too early to start those safety conversations.
The advice from self-defense experts to keep your family safe in any situation.
A cause of death now listed for Elijah McLean.
This is the critical piece.
Denver 7 Investigates looks at what the amended autopsy could mean for the former officers and paramedics charged in the case.
Shocking video. A train slams into a police unit. A woman still inside.
She was yelling. She was trying to escape.
The case raising the question, why didn't police react in time?
It just seems like a lot of time went by.
But first tonight, authorities searching for the man you see in these pictures. Police say he tried to kidnap a 10-year-old student just before the start of class at STEM Launch in Thornton. The student was able to fight off the abductor and is safe with family.
And that scare put parents and schools in the area on high alert. STEM Launch plus Federal Heights and Hillcrest Elementaries required all students to be picked up in person by their parents. But some told Denver 7 they pulled their kids out from class right away.
Just so I knew that they were safe. Just so they're with me and, I know that they're at home and safe. I have 3 kids. One's in kindergarten, one's in first grade, and one's in 5th grade.
Police are asking anyone with information to call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. And what happened today in Thornton is part of a larger concern for parents nationwide.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reports that more than 600 attempted abductions happened this year alone. Denver 7 CB Cotton spent the day finding out more about one solution parents can equip their children with to keep them safe. CB?
And Jessica, it's an option we've all heard about, but one that many don't explore, myself included. It's the practice of self-defense, which is everything from physical techniques, but also the way you see and respond to the world around you.
So what it looks like.
The steps to safety don't have to look hard.
Yell no and heel palm.
But Krista Hanley knows the training can save your life.
I'm a survivor of the Columbine High School shooting. And so I had a lot of fear and anxiety as a young adult. And I was looking for ways to feel safer in the world, and I found a class with Impact.
Hanley is now the program director with Impact Personal Safety of Colorado, a nonprofit dedicated to ending the cycle of violence by teaching self-defense techniques, empowerment, and awareness to those as young as 6.
What self-defense does is it just points out that you have a voice, that you have agency, that you have ways to do confident body language, and that you actually can fight for your life.
Impact coordinator Kayla Berry knows this too.
So I think there are a couple of things that are really fundamental when learning personal safety. So the first thing we really talk about is how to have active awareness.
That awareness is noticing what's around, Barry says, and it's always trusting your intuition. It can go even further with physical skills that I got to try out. This technique called an elbow strike.
So if you've been grabbed from behind, you're seeing the center of the face behind you, and you're stepping into it to really deliver that elbow.
3, 2, 1. No! And this pair says there are countless other ways to protect yourself.
We believe that everyone deserves to learn how to defend themselves.
It's never too early to start that and start setting some ground rules around what safety looks like in your family and what are the protocols that you expect both the parents and the children to uphold when it comes to each other's safety.
CB Cotton, Denver 7. And Impact Personal Safety of Colorado offers individual classes, workshops, and intensives. And some of those classes get really specific, like protecting yourself against someone with a weapon or protecting yourself if you're attacked at night or in the dark. Once again, CB Cotton, Denver 7.
All right, CB, thank you. Another dangerous reality facing students today, drug dealers targeting them with fentanyl. Data from the DEA shows the number of teens and young adults dying from fentanyl overdoses has climbed 40%, and that has school districts sounding the alarm. In California, the LA Unified School District says at least 7 students have died from fentanyl in the past month. And now the nation's second largest district says it is stocking the life-saving spray Narcan in every school to reverse the effects of an overdose if needed. We checked, and that is a step that school districts here in Colorado are also taking. Doug Coe, Jeff Coe, and Boulder Valley Schools tell Denver 7 they have Narcan on site. And in the spring, Denver Public Schools also announced it would begin stocking the medication. In light of an amended autopsy revealing Elijah McLean's official cause of death, the forensic pathology consultant who signed off on the report is saying, quote, "I believe that Mr. McLean would most likely be alive but for the administration of ketamine." Now, this comes 3 years after the original report listed his cause of death as undetermined.
Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kovaleski is taking an in-depth look for us tonight at what this updated report means for the case and what stands out to legal experts.
Well, first of all, this new autopsy will be a critical piece of evidence moving forward. Some of the big changes were with ketamine. The report now says McLean would most likely be alive if he wasn't injected with the sedative. But it also found no evidence the officers who detained him played a role in his death. And legal experts we talked to say the changes could actually help their defense.
Your favor, stop right there.
Elijah McLean was just a young man on his way home from a convenience store when someone called 911 saying he looked sketchy and was wearing a ski mask.
Stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious. Stop. Relax. Stop. I'm going home.
Aurora police officers put him in a carotid hold.
So when the ambulance gets here, we're going to go ahead and give him some ketamine.
Minutes later, paramedics inject him with the powerful sedative ketamine. His death would spark outrage across the country. Those voices would help lead a grand jury to indict 3 Aurora police officers and 2 paramedics. And at the center is now this amended autopsy report. McLean's original autopsy ruled his death undetermined. In the amended autopsy just made public, the coroner changed the cause of death to complications of ketamine administered following forcible restraint. But the pathologist wrote in the new opinion that he has seen no evidence that injuries inflicted by the police contributed to death. And while it now acknowledges paramedics gave McLean too much ketamine for his weight, and he did overdose, the amount was still within therapeutic ranges.
I think that these reports certainly help the police officers, if not exonerate the police officers, but I think they also help the paramedics that are charged in this case. They're not giving him too much, but it was too much for him.
Mitch Morrissey's a veteran prosecutor and a former Denver district attorney.
That's where this kind of changes from something that helped the prosecutor to seriously hurting the prosecutor.
He says the amended autopsy likely helped the prosecution get a grand jury to indict because they only needed to prove probable cause, but believes the new autopsy could become a problem for prosecutors at trial.
I think they're going to have real problems then getting to the beyond a reasonable doubt hurdle, and that's where these documents become a weapon for the defense.
Morrissey says he thinks this will come down to a battle of medical experts at trial. We did reach out to Elijah McLean's mom, Shanine McLean. Her attorney told us they are not commenting. I'm Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kovaleski.
And you may remember there was controversy around the original report because Aurora police reportedly met with the coroner before it was released. It is important to note for Elijah McLean's autopsy, the coroner who signed off on the cause of death is not a medical doctor. She is an elected official. The person who signed the opinion, otherwise known as the autopsy report, is a forensic pathology consultant. And right now on Denver7.com, you can find an interactive timeline of the Elijah McLean case, as well as other in-depth coverage and breakdowns of what we know.
Stunning video tonight showing the moment a train slams into a Platteville police cruiser with a woman handcuffed inside. This happened last Friday after police detained Urene Rios Gonzalez in connection to a road rage incident. The edited video released today is raising questions about why that squad unit was parked on train tracks and why didn't officers react quick enough to get the woman out. Train horns can be heard just a minute after Rios Gonzalez was placed inside the squad's car's back seat. Now, over the next 15 seconds, the horns become louder and louder before officers finally react. But the train slams into the squad car, leaving Rios Gonzalez seriously injured. Now, her attorney tells Denver 7 that she saw the train and tried to alert police.
The most alarming thing for me is that you can hear the train coming. And it's at nighttime and the train has lights also. So you can both hear and see the train coming.
Rios Gonzalez remains in the hospital and her attorney says they are planning to sue Platteville police. We've reached out to the department for answers, but have gotten no response.
A man is now charged in the hit-and-run death of a Weld County deputy who was on her way to work. Investigators say Norberto Garcia Gonzalez ran after crashing into a Lexus Hynutz motorcycle. This was last Sunday north of Greeley. His charges include leaving the scene of an accident and careless driving. Tomorrow, a private funeral service is planned for Hynutz.
Aurora police have released pictures of a pickup truck that hit and killed a woman earlier this week. Police say the driver did not stop after hitting the woman near North Chambers and East 12th Avenue Wednesday night. The pickup is described as an early 2000s model GMC or Chevy with a distinct bed container with a ladder on the passenger side. Anyone with information on this vehicle should contact Denver Metro Crime Stoppers. A reward is being offered.
Boy, a brutal end of the week on Wall Street as the Dow sinks to its lowest point since 2020. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P were all down by more than 1.5% at the closing bell as traders worried about a possible recession. And new projections show the Federal Reserve is expecting unemployment to rise. Analysts say the central bank is expecting the rate to rise from 3.7% in August to as high as 5% next year. And if those projections hold up, it would mean between 1 and 2 million Americans could lose their jobs.
Meanwhile, oil prices have dropped to below $80 per barrel. That's the lowest price since January. But that's not all good news. While lower oil prices means lower prices at the pump, it also signals investors may be concerned about where the economy is headed. Speaking of gas prices, AAA says Coloradans are paying an average of $3.68 for a gallon of regular. That's down 21 cents from 1 month ago, but up half a dollar from a year ago.
South Broadway in Denver is about to look different.
This is going to be an important route for cyclists as well as everyone else.
The city ready to break ground on a new project that has cyclists and businesses excited.
We get cars off the street, we improve our air quality.
Plus, the Broncos get some good news ahead of their Sunday night showdown against the 49ers.
Blue skies, warm temperatures today. I'll let you know if that's going to continue all weekend long.